There are two kinds of pain. Sort of pain that makes you strong, or useless pain. Sort of pain that's only suffering. I have no patience for useless things. Moments like this require someone who will act. Do the unpleasant thing, the necessary thing. There. No more pain.
Hey and hi there, hello there. This is SoulPapo from the I'm Black, He's Mexican podcast. For listeners to that, mommy and daddy are going through a bit of a rough 1970s wool, thick-ass type bush with a noticeable patch. And it's not that we don't love you or that we don't love each other. It's that we don't love them hoes. And them bitches be fucking with us our day like temptations and sunlight. So bear with it for a little bit. I actually laughed man hard when I came to the realization that as much as I gave shit to verse, whether out loud or not, about his mental and metaphysical health issues and why it's affecting us, being able to, simply come together, if not physically, then digitally to talk. Now, I didn't get it, and it seems so simple, at least the concept of, one friend speaking to another friend whom you haven't heard from in a while, and you'd figure that the easiest thing to do is, it's chit-chat. Now, not no straight boy, faggoty ball, fondling, or rocket science for that matter. I mean, our first foray into the podcast game was simply being a show about nothing in particular, just two bromosexuals that constantly conversed, debated, and slow dance all at the same time. And then we built a few mainstay segments and checkpoints to spread as much seed as we could jerk out professionally, so to speak. Now, I don't know if it became too difficult to put on the face like you do when you're in your workplace, where you don't want to reveal too much, so you kind of keep it conservative and be the quote unquote professional that you get paid to be. And we weren't getting paid nothing at all, so you can imagine how difficult it must make it. But I mean, I definitely felt it. Myself, I was forcing and kind of phoning it in, when I, and what I thought I was expected to be, at least what is expected of me. And by the sheer fact that I lost my lust for talking shit, that kind of spilt it all right there. Because that says a lot, because I'm a nigga that loves to talk his shit. But then, my typecast, as it will, it no longer, wanted to lean on the shoulders of the straight man or the wild card. I had to do that on the daily for people, on the phones, whether it's pushing drugs or, that may or may not be needed. But the healthcare system has, forged a procedure that now is expected and accepted. Or, having to be the backbone for folks you sometimes can give no fucks about and just want to wipe your hands clean from, of, what is in your responsibility. Probably chokes me up and tells me that it definitely is, and we gotta look out for a common man. But then there's that exact feeling of conviction of, of what comes from faith and understanding that has been placed upon you. And I can't tell you if that's the same sentiment if it's felt. But I presumed my heterosexual life partner was comatose, or just had his backhand to his forehead somewhere. But I didn't get any message from his wife or text, to get ready for the show. So I just, kind of just fell back. And I think that's what makes communication just as poor, because it is a two-way street. And I kind of liked saving all the juiciness and all the excitement of being able to see him for when we did our show. That's what kind of is what made, looking forward to it or doing it so easy, And we're both on the very same boat when it comes to things. But yet, whenever I get the, hey, are you ready? I'm like, fuck yeah, just because, yeah, I'm going to complain, I'm going to bitch. And I think that's just the Catholic in me. But, besides that, like, I don't know, it should have been cool. All right, so speaking of other people's business that no one should be concerned about, Kimberly Kardashian West, known as Kim K, Miss Kanye West. Why do we know every moment and time step about these people? Like, what's the cover-up? What is it that they're supposed to be distracting us from? And for those who don't know, she was recently in Paris, and I'm not too sure if it was like a fashion week or something, And she lives out there. Of course, I'd imagine when you have a bunch of money, you probably have houses everywhere. And she has a house out there. So, of course, knowing damn near every move that they make, she was robbed. And that one thing I didn't know was apparently she was, like, held hostage and, like, duct taped and all this shit, which makes me wonder, like, where the fuck was the film crew at? Were they filming this? Is that going to be a made-for-E TV movie? One of the dope things that I thought that came from it, even though it's obviously no joking matter, was when there was a concert that Kanye was having, and as soon as he heard the word from his manager, who apparently was trying to get his attention, it was kind of being swatted away. Once they broke down the news, he was like, all right, well, shit, I can't do this. I can't be here. I had to go, console my wife, which I thought was honorable. But, like, in the same way, I'm just wondering, like, when I mentioned this a second ago, like, what are we being distracted from? What more important event is going on that we're kind of putting that off to the side so we could focus on this? I mean, even with shit, and this is a stretch, but even like with the Rob and Black Vagina show, like so much of it it seems retarded. And I caught a few episodes because my kids just came over and wanted to binge watch some of them. And yeah, I can't lie, some of it was entertaining. I definitely was fucking with my phone as the shit was on, but like I really like watching it for the sheer fact of being able to talk shit, being able to catch all the moments where it just seems stupidly scripted. And there's just a lot of instances where like, this bitch don't talk like that. Like, not to say that, any race of people cannot speak a particular way, because some would say that, I think you don't pronunciate their R's, or every fucking beaner says SA, or, something stereotypical that, it can be funny, haha, whatever the hell like that, but really has no horse in the carriage, or however that shit goes. And a lot of it just seems ridiculous. And I was like, man, if I can make like a fucking drinking game, like where you take a shot every time there's a cliche or some kind of dramatic pause, or just something that's hella awkward, or something where you're just like, man, that was supposed to go by the book, but when, totally be awry. If there was a shot game for that, I'm telling you, basic bitches around the world will be drunk off their ass. Fucking hashtag the return of Bill Cosby. I mean, in all serious though, back to the robbery thing. So much of me wants to think, okay, this shit was orchestrated. If for some reason we needed to gather up a bunch of sympathy. Maybe Kanye wanted to get out of the show. Maybe they wanted to just kind of create more distilledness in Perry. Maybe they want to, I don't know what the Armenian Muslim roots fucking wanted to stand up against the bullshit that ISIS had come up with. I have no reason why they would want to fake something like this, other than that, all publicity is good publicity. But I'm just trying to think of the tie-in. Was the news that just slow? Like, say, what is it that we're kind of giving the, sleight of hand movement trick, fucking Jedi mind trick, fucking bullshit on the stick, fucking maneuver? And I'm wondering, okay, so if this did happen, could it have been an inside job? Was this something? I mean, which it technically wouldn't be all that difficult, because, like I said, we know every movement, we know what state they're in. Matter of fact, the moment that the bitch landed back in LA, I'm getting some kind of news alert update, which I definitely didn't fucking sign up for, so I don't know why the fuck Google thinks they give a fuck in that essence. But they're telling me Kim K just landed in her Los Angeles home, first visit since, the Paris robbery. And I'm just like, man, like, that's such bullshit. And let's say, because if it wasn't staged, without sounding really fucked up, why wasn't the bitch raped? Why wasn't there like a ransom of sorts? I mean, was this just simply like a, I don't know, some kind of honor amongst thieves, or like, no, we don't want to hurt them, we just know that they have more than what they need, so we're gonna rid her of that and send her along her way. In which case, I mean, you'd figure Democrats would be more on the rise, and we'd be taxing against the rich and not, giving so many tax benefits. And again, she's not a political figure, more so I guess you could say a TV personality or a personality in general, since she kind of stemmed from, you know, the likeness or popularity of fucking being in a goddamn sex tape, which I'm not too sure if most actually know. Like, I'm wondering, people who watch her nowadays, like, do they stem that from it? Do they stem it back to, okay, well, she was a daughter of a famous attorney who had died, but the wife kept marching on and was able to, you know what I'm saying, find herself an Olympic athlete, and who then, you know, just then became a woman. Like, what's the tie-in? And I wonder, when people think of anybody, do they actually think of that past? And is the only way that your ass can be bitten by the past if you're a political figure? Which, I mean, we know really doesn't matter, since we have fucking a lying bitch and a piece of shit, you know, running against each other. But I guess that's a different topic for another time. I mean, will this be a thing to where this will be another reason to fight against ISIL, to take credit? Will this be another way to not want to, another fight against guns? Self-empowerment. Which, I mean, this didn't happen in the States, so that'd be a whole nother deal. And that definitely will be a topic that will come up later on as far as our domestic terrorist threats. I'm mad confused as to why they did this move. And I just want to know. Don't really care. I just would like to know the truth. I don't know if that means anything. Now, in the pseudo-transitional move to other things of vanity, and I think that the Kardashians are very vain, and you can take that however you'd like. The Bible says that we are, so, I mean, I'm not really talking too much shit when I say that, but a Natalie Bocher, she's 21 from Brisbane. She has a blog, kind of like a makeup tutorial, and this bitch has, like, at least in this video in particular, has like 3.8 million views on YouTube, and she claims she knows the secret for a bigger bust, and it's as simple as, you know, applying the right makeup to decollage or decollage, and I don't know what the fuck it's saying, but pretty much this bitch gets like two-tone palettes and puts it on her titty test. It's another word for breastises, tiny breastises, cute, beautiful, parky, don't really need more than a nipple tweak kind of breastises, which are my favorite breastises. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying they put makeup that kind of falls along the collarbones and where a normal cleave would be, and pretty much just smears a bunch of fucking colors together, just making it to where it looks like you have some tickle bitties. Now, in most respects, you know, it's meant for the look. That's all it is. You know, we want to kind of fit an image. We want to be able to be eye-popping. And what is makeup then not fucking eye-popping? And I'm being literal in the essence of how Japanese bitches use it, not only for cosplay stuff, but to literally make themselves look like goddamn anime characters. Which I'm not knocking. I think it's just adorable, a little bit weird and creepy, and definitely adds to weird dungeon tombs of the Spank Bank that one dares not enter nor say that name of. But I laugh at, you know, the cool techniques that we have, but also at the links that we kind of go to, you know, to fit a certain image. And Lord knows I am not one to talk shit or to deny, you know, what one does to kind of to keep their image up. So whether that be acting like a tough ass, or, you know, in my case, you know, being just so, you know, I can't even think of the word, but just so extreme, you know, to kind of to feel like you're fulfilling your role as whatever the fuck you think you are, and you are only what you think you are, and if you wouldn't, then why would you say you are? That was a poor attempt of an Eminem quote, but white power. What I want to say is, don't be deceived. You know, don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall for what your eyes see. And it's deeper in essence to where even the things in which you see are truly just the surface. And like I said, that's no knock to her, because, you know, you do what you gotta do, and just how if you're matching with an outfit, you want to make sure you can pull it all off. So no shit talking to her, but in a deeper level of kind of what that does to us, that really keeps us on a fucking track where we're the workhorse and there's a fucking carrot on an invisible string that we're chasing, that we're following, that we're trying to make it down to the finish line. We may not even know that we're trying to finish something. We're really just going. We're really the worst, in essence, to where we're like handicapped kids that get taken to and fro, place to place, nor not left from right and hardly up from down. And yet we get taken, or we're left to go home alone. And home's only about 2 blocks away. But either we're going to figure it out, or by a divine miracle, or we're going to be taken where we need to be. They call it dumb luck. And that, in essence, I think is what allows us to get through life. The old other road, they call it. Because you either know or you don't know, and sometimes you get really fucking lucky.
I is blessed.
And that from what stems with blessings also, comes from faith and what we believe in, whether blatantly false in the eyes of people in reality, or once again those that are just kind of going with the waves. And this is probably a weird way to throw her into this, but Rachel Dolezal, she's the former NCAACP leader from Spokane, Washington. That one sister who resigned after allegations that she was falsely presenting herself as black. She's actually going to address a Martin Luther King Day celebration in North Carolina. And I thought that was mad interesting. And that kind of, lets you know,
they forgave it,
especially because, with this Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter and the fucking hoopla, and unfortunately the tragic, becoming of, what's been happening to folks of color. Not many motherfuckers would want to be black.
Males, for
At
sure.
least not in situations like this. Would they like to have better rhythm? Yes. Would they, want a mandingo that can scissor kick or stone cold stun the pussy off of the active mom, or someone with ass like Minaj? Yeah. My point is, I can't fathom how she's going to go about and what she's even going to say to try to relate with those that not only have been oppressed for over 400 years, but it's been going through these deaths when she hasn't, been through the ring of it. So I'm just mad curious as to what that shit could be about. And is this a win for black people that, even though you're losing lives, you gaining those with blackface on? Like, is this a win? Or is this kind of bamboozlement that, where my brother at? What's real funny, and I think it was episode 1 of A Different Set in Black, verse had mentioned, you have to have, you can't go off by just having one black friend now. And I was thinking, I usually have one black friend at a time. So if you count all the years of being old enough to have friends, does that count? Is that along the same lines? Like, I've had many a black friend before, but it's usually a black friend at a time. Just kind of how when white folks have people at the house, you gotta keep a number, you gotta keep a tally. What is that shit called? When the workplace has to, hire some sort of has to hire some sort of urban thing. What's it called? Affirmative action. Just like that, you gotta be able to. I don't know. It just naturally aligns. It feels right. You don't want to overdo it, but you want to meet the guidelines. You want to do the bare fucking minimum. Yeah, I'm in need of some friends. So speaking of just bullshit artistry, I've fibbed a lot in my day, more than I would like to admit, but definitely not as much as I could possibly muster. I've definitely shot myself in the foot on telling truths when I definitely should have given one of those famous white lies just to kind of ease situations. So that's where you live and you learn. One thing I've never done, though, is inadvertently ingested something like an illegal substance of some sort and not known. And I'm not too sure if you can treat shit like that like a transmitted disease via sexual relations, but world champion pole vaulter says that he inadvertently ingested cocaine.
What?
What the fuck? Canadian pole vaulter's name is Sean Barber, and he was allowed to compete at the games after testing positive for cocaine. Now, how does one accidentally use cocaine? Because he, of course, didn't admit to it and says that he had no part of it. According to a ruling released by the Sport Distribute Revolutions Center of Canada back on Thursday, apparently he had started with I guess it all started with a Craigslist ad in the casual encounter section. And yo, I don't know how people do that. You know, out of curiosity, you know, I've looked and, you know, I've seen pictures of dicks, which definitely, of course, is not my bag of tea, nor tea bag of tea. I've seen, you know, big, I would even call them BBWs. These are more like fucking shits that would have caught Shamu, but they kind of, you know, they saw the wrong blip on the radar. I don't know how people with no pictures, no nothing, can just go off of tax and literally go off of something random. I mean, I guess that kind of almost mirrors, you know, the randomness of a fucking rest stop bathroom stall, which is like known as one of like the fucking gay cesspools of the 80s and 90s. And I'm not too sure if that still pops on now. I figure the more reserved and with the likes of, you know, things like the internet and your fucking dating apps that can literally show you the pinpoint GPS pinpoint location of where the nearest whore is, like, those possibilities are endless. So I'm laughing. So this guy is on Craigslist, you know, looking for a hookup, you know, apparently has it on his post, someone clean, no diseases, no drugs. But it almost reminds me like when motherfuckers put on their ads when they're selling something, oh, in a smoke-free environment. Or, you know, it almost reminds me of the same bullshit when they try to fucking say that, you know, eggs there were cageless and, you know, didn't have the deprivation of, you know, whatever the fuck, as if that karmic thing isn't going to bite you in the ass because you're fucking lying about it. But I don't know. I hope that when people make these claims, these disclaimers, that they're true. But once again, it kind of goes to show you can't really trust that shit. And I imagine that anyone that's kind of combing through that shit, whether you would like to take the cop out of being a sex addict, is probably an addict to something else, probably on a fucking binge, probably just, you know, just own it and cannot stop and, you know, wants to mow through as much as you can. Well, apparently through their kissing, which is like on and off, which I can understand, maybe snorting it, maybe putting it in your teeth. I mean, I know it gets into your bloodstream system, so I don't know how and what they were swapping that then got it into his system, but let him compete. He didn't win shit, so I don't know if we really lost in anything, but someone else could have taken that place. Once again, for those that kind of dedicate their lives year in and year out to do this stuff, you know, for anyone to have any bit of edge, is going to make a whole bigger difference. And if someone doesn't need to live up to the same guidelines and rules and regulations as others, then how's that shit fair, you know? It's one of those, fuck. If you do, fucked. If you don't, kind of thing. You know, another what the fuck news that's been going on lately. There's been weird clown sightings that is pretty much poetically taking the storm and I want to say blurring the lives of, dare I say, Black Lives Matter, because clowns, if you could remember them, whether they're always scared of them or not, were meant to be child's, you know, entertainment. It's the kind of thing you'd normally see at birthday parties. Normally you'd see them in circuses. You know, it's supposed to be kind of like a bumbling, you know, ball of joy. Think of like a retarded kid with a heart of gold. And now, which I don't know if it started in North Carolina, but there just was mad stories and apparently some killings, and it almost seemed American Horror Story-esque, inspired, and it's gotten to the point where if you're out there trying to scare folks, you're live, you're gonna get shot. It's just as bad and as creepy as if you were to see something just that sadistic, and maybe they are in a mind state of wanting to kill. And you know, you kind of look at situations where they have become violent and wanting to attack all clowns and have an attack on clowns to where, you know, you might be hurting someone innocent simply because they, you know, made the terrible mistake of
career choice
being in entertainment. in that essence. Obviously, if you're fucking chilling around in the dark in the goddamn woods, well, then what the fuck were you doing? You're probably trying to get to someone anyway, and you just creepy. So it's best to probably take you out. But it's gotten so big to where it's so fucked up, which it's perfect for the Halloween season coming up. But Halloween costumes for clowns have actually gone up in sales 300%. This is showing the wave of no matter how fucked a certain situation is, there's going to be those retards, and I say this in the most discriminating way possible, those that just lack common sense, that they would, that it would encourage them to want to do more of that nature. To maybe be part of it. Maybe this is their way of kind of being, in whiteface, to be out there terrorizing in plain sight. And, we've seen those that are, racially privileged, get up in a police officer's face, fucking clap hands, talk shit, talk about their rights, and kind of threatening to sue, which kind of will stop anyone in the tracks from doing anything, because that's the power, how we kind of get things moving. And I kind of look at the same shit like with Trump. Like, if he were to fucking win, everyone's going to just think like, okay, well, I can just be a straight up asshole and it's going to be all right because this is what I'm being encouraged to be. And I'm scared for the world when they hit that shit, when they hit that level. So I'm going to play a little portion of like a collection of the clips from some of these things. It's wild.
Remember when clowns were, good?
Wisconsin, South Carolina, West Virginia, and now Georgia. We've been hearing a lot of chilling stories lately involving creepy clowns reportedly trying to lure children into the woods.
First on 4, a clown threat that's been causing alarm across the nation. It's creepy clown sightings.
A national trend of creepy clown sightings spreads to Southwest Florida.
Creepy clown sightings. This growing phenomenon.
Clowns getting a bad rap these days.
It's a bizarre craze sweeping the nation.
Scary clowns
Taking creepy clown sightings to the next level.
A clown dressed in green and yellow, wearing a white mask.
Scary clown craze.
Clown chaos haunting communities all across the country.
手には黒い風船、アメリカ。
The clowning pranks a disturbing trend sweeping our area and the country, with violent threats being made online and countless accounts of sightings.
Creepy clown sightings. Clowns are now terrorizing San Diego.
We've seen these stories all across the country, stories of creepy clowns frightening people and in at least one case trying to lure children.
A clown sighting months before Halloween.
The clown craze is growing. Apparently, there have been other encounters with someone flaunting a big red nose and oversized shoes in Phillipsburg.
Clown sightings, police looking for a clown, but we assure you this is no joke.
Creepy clown sighting.
Clown sightings.
Federal help used to find creepy clowns.
This is the photo causing a circus in Norwalk.
I see a clown right in the middle of the street, full clown suit, clown mask, with a long object that looked like a bat in his hand.
That's Khalifa Owens.
They just told me that they saw a clown chasing them.
Some of the ones I've seen on video look pretty creepy.
A clown was chasing her. They saw a clown with a knife.
They're taking black people now.
Just a couple blocks from here.
I heard stories from my friends at how they saw a clown
Jumping out of woods,
White folks only see
scaring
them.
people. And one woman believed she saw a clown outside her door trying to break in.
It's twisted. Why are they clowns scaring kids?
My friends told me that they've messaged my friends and said that he was supposed to be coming today, but he didn't come today, but you never know.
It's startling for me as a parent because I want to teach my kids to be brave and strong. And so I tell them, be brave and strong, but in the inside,
She was
I'm
out
just
Macy
dying
in
inside.
Arizona.
They were in matching outfits. It was the ones with all the polka dots on it.
It was going all over Facebook. It was going all over Instagram.
Name
What
is
if
Al
they shoot
Baito.
them? What if they kidnap them? I prefer them to be home safe with me instead of at the school.
So you're saying
No, I
that
want the
this
kids
is
at school.
A clown attacked you here
Don't
tonight.
bother me.
Cut you with a knife?
Yeah.
He had a sword.
The masks found
He was a
along with
samurai.
marijuana and a knife.
I'm wondering if the president's aware of this phenomenon. I don't know that the president's been briefed on this particular situation.
Sheriff's offices
We gonna
across
bother
the
the
U.S.,
president with this shit.
including Charlotte County, are
He's up to go.
committed to taking clowns seriously.
There was going to be zero tolerance.
So is there a concern there? Yeah. Anytime there's anything like that, we're going to go investigate it.
Across the country, we've seen this trend. We have
This is John
about
Miller,
20
NYPD
states involved in
Department
clown threats,
Chief.
clown sightings, clown crime.
If they do see whether it's a person in a clown costume or
anything out of the ordinary, it's better to call us and have us check it out.
There's been a lot of false witnesses on this, and that's just what's kind of needed, like a give or take thing. They either take it seriously or they won't, and someone end up dead.
You're disrupting this. It's not normal for people to be in a clown suit walking around with people, okay?
Some drunk
how many
fucking
times
white
do we
boy.
have to stand here and tell people this is not a joke?
That's the thing too. There's gonna be more people jumping in on this, trying to cause commotion, and like the same assholes, they go to the peaceful protests and try to get everyone riled up.
North Texas are asking fire departments to keep their clowns away.
Pranksters are tarnishing their image.
Real clowns are very kind people. They have the biggest hearts.
The people that are doing that are not clowns. They're dressing up like clowns.
Halloween characters are not clowns. They're Halloween characters, a completely different animal.
By the way, the voices that you're now hearing are the good clowns, the clowns that go to clown college, and that's really a thing.
You're scaring people. We're walking around taking pictures, and if they happen to see us and get scared, then there's nothing we can do about that.
This is foolery. These clowns need to know that it's going to be somebody sitting down here with their right to carry.
Tell 'em,
and they
sister.
right to carry is going to be as soon as they see them, they're going to pop them right
Right in the ass.
You see?
So now we're worrying about Mexicans, because they're over flooding us. We gotta send them back. Niggas, we've had y'all here for a while, so there ain't really much getting rid of you other than just kind of keeping you locked up. Refugees, man, they taking up all our resources. Like, the next fucking thing is clowns, and it'd be crazy that if there would be some sort of like weird crown revolution where it's kind of like the new KKK, and pretty much because they couldn't do justice in plain sight, that they had to then kind of go into the realm of hiding behind a mask like a fucking Cape Crusader, but this is a motherfucker in a bozo outfit being a bozo, just fucking like it's so funny because even the words that was synonymous with clown and kind of like a joker, and you know what I'm saying, a joker, just it's interesting that this is popping off. So fucking I want to deem the hashtag Trump Clown 2016. We only have 3 months to go in this year. Can you imagine the shit that's gonna pop off, man? If they don't legalize weed this year, I'm gonna be very sad for our nation, because that's at least the one thing you can do and you can provide is a coping mechanism. Now, one interesting function about that, or one interesting fact about taking that route, and the assistance of coming down from the harsh realities of life, is that drug companies like your Pfizer's and your other shits that pretty much handle all your downers and things of that nature, they have a big stake in obviously the forced flow of what's prescribed and what you should take, what needs to go along with that, and what helps you counter with this, and you gotta add these other shits, and pretty much it racks up your fucking bill and you've been upsold the fuck up. Well, those companies, at least here, and I'm pretty sure across the fucking boards, across the states, across the nation, have really been pushing and trying to stop the propositions that try to legalize it. Now, why they would do that as far as the state, it doesn't pique their interest, because if you look at Colorado, they were able to gain, I think, 1.3 for sure million, I don't know if it could have been billion, but fucking in revenue alone, that was so they had so much extra, they were able to put an extra milli on the side to fucking help those that were homeless. Like, that's a big fucking thing. If there's anything that we're to do in this world, whether you're of religious beliefs or not, or spiritual beliefs, or just however the fuck you want to label shit as, you gotta help your common man, your fellow man, I should say. So the fact that they're able to take this sliver, which I'm pretty sure they make bank after the fact, this is just something that they could hopefully use for even more better tax purposes. They're able to help people. How much of us can say that they do, and they don't fucking tighten up their wallets when they can see someone and think of an excuse why not to give them something because of fucking how they look or how they appear, or the bamboozlement that you've faced from others before. And And on that same fuck shit, here in Arizona, there's a Proposition 205, and there was news from my favorite KTR station saying that doctors and nurses had gathered in Phoenix to voice their opposition about it, and they're pretty much going off of the realm that it's going to impact teens and children, and it's going to hurt them in the long run, which obviously if you don't do shit with yourself, that it's going to help you keep not doing shit for yourself. But there's whole reasons why we have legislations and rules as to having to be 21 and up, and how much tax is going to come from it. Like these companies who are going to lose a lot if we were to see the natural properties and just great overall feeling of what Mary does, that they don't want to lose out on that business. They got some people doped the fuck up, and which once again helps the other people that create the other shits, when really you can have, not to say a one-stop solution, but I mean it definitely kills as many birds with having to hurt or damage least amount of stones as possible, if that makes any fucking sense. So I was mad excited when Judge Jolene Gentry had dismissed the challenge that was wanting to get the legalization of pot out of the voting ballot. Like, it's getting that far, and I'm really hoping that, I'm gonna get preachy for a second, like those who are judges, those who are making the difficult calls on certain things, like I really hope that they're taking a high moral standard and belief and understanding in the shit that they're doing and that they're choosing for all those, and that hopefully isn't being manipulated by influences that are going to give them a whole lot more kickbacks. Like, one of the dopest things about, I think it was Solomon or David, I think it was Solomon, the son of David, when he had ruled, the one thing that he had asked for from God was the knowledge to be able to watch over his people. And now I think it might have been, I don't know, but it was one of them that they had asked that of God, instead of asking for their own protection of life or their own, he asked for the power and the ability to be able to do what he's been blessed to do. And in that same essence, fuck, like I want that so badly as well. Like, we're being trusted with something, whether it's life or, definitely life, but and in all the responsibilities that come well within it. So I would hope that we all can take pride in that and do the best that we can possibly do. But back to all that. Anyway, so this judge, she, stops, tries to, nip it in the bud so that it can give the people hopefully a chance to come up together, I don't know if it's too late to register or not, but to do something and try to, have our voices heard. And for the most part, some of the stuff that not limitations, but some of the rules of this stuff is perfectly well. They're saying that under measure, adults 21 and older can carry up to 1 ounce of marijuana and consume it privately. Cool. That's all that I fucking need. Allow me to be able to do me without it being a fucking crime or having to worry about some bullshit popping off. And it says that adults could also cultivate up to 6 marijuana plants in an enclosed space and possess the marijuana product by the plants, meaning that no more than 12 plants total could be allowed in a single residence, which is fine because of course, you'd want to probably, make a couple extra bucks, saying this is America, and if you can have Ubers and Lyfts and, different healthcare systems, then why the fuck can there be a competitive field when it comes to distribution of marijuana? But mind you, it shouldn't be for that. Private use, whether you're blessing someone and it happens to have a marked donation price, well then, so be it. But regardless, that shouldn't even be the case because it should be private, okay? I can respect that. But the fact also that, I'm so glad that they can give you the ability to grow it yourself, just how you could grow your own fucking tobacco or your own avocados or whatever the fuck that you love, that you don't want to have to pay fucking high import price. That's fucking good. But for those that don't want to go through the trouble because they just, they'll buy it like they buy a pack of cigarettes instead of having to buy the cheaper shit, which are the rollies, which some would say would be just as effective, less chemicals, but more hassle. It says that the system could regulate that pot, like alcohol, with a 15% imposed on fucking all retail sales. And most of the revenue from that tax would go to Arizona schools and education programs. Like, motherfucker, if there's one thing that we could use, are smarter kids. And if there's one way that we can get people to to reap from that is to be able to educate and to hopefully make us better, create a brand of loyalty so that people won't want to move out, so that we can keep all our smarties and we can better ourselves and hopefully, fucking better the nation. There's a lot of opportunity to be able to come from this, and it's kind of like saying, like, why the fuck, if you could get to the kids, why wouldn't you? And it's that same respect for them hoes that are stripping and they're trying to pay their way through med school, baby. God bless you. And may the right sugar daddy find his way to you. Now that we're nearing the rear end of the show, which is dedications, this is kind of where I get a bit biblical and the New Testament and Old Testament version of being thankful, which, we'd want to give props to and kudos and I guess condolences if you're very old school and believe that you should give a sacrifice, maybe burn a virgin or two. In that aspect, there's this, she's a comedian, I want to say she's a musician, actress, who I probably first remember her from a sitcom a few years back called Raising Hope. She played the ukulele. I want to say like in every show I've ever seen her in, every movie I've ever seen her in, she's with the fucking ukulele, playing, strumming, just mad genius. She's even with another Widita, former dedication, and I forget her freaking name, Ricky Lindholm. She's really big in Comedy Central right now. They even have a thing called Garfunkel and Notes, which is, I guess, a way of add word libbing, however the hell you call it, Garfield and Notes or Garfield. I don't even know what the fuck it's called anymore. I'm so confused. They are the definition. They own it. Anyways, she's been in a few other things like When in Rome, Rio 2, the SpongeBob movie. She was actually quite recently on a show called Easy. She played Annie, and I don't want to ruin it too much, but because I'm not gonna, and I tried watching some of the show because I wanted to see how Mark Maron acted, which he pretty much just voiced in or did what he does, his little shtick from his podcast WTF, and he just playing himself, which I think was worked out perfectly. But Annie in this thing again, playing a cute little adorable Widita that happens to play ukulele and is singing and is good with kids, which is what, any man wanting to settle down would want to, put roots in. But anyways, she made the fucking dedication while if she hadn't already. If she did, who gives a fuck? Because I got mad excited and wanted to share with you that in that Netflix series, Easy, she shows her titties. And as immature as that would sound, you gotta understand, I've loved her for quite a while. I've been watching her. I've almost felt like we've slow danced in our relationship as far as the beauty and the ballet of me being a creeper in a tree and her doing her, obviously to the masses and to the millions, so it's not really true. But I felt like I put in my time, kind of like when you're dating and, if you're part of a cordial relationship and if you're a fan of think like a man, you want to, make the nigga wait 3 months like a person would their health benefits. Obviously, you want to put in some time, but in that same respect. And then I'm not knocking one night stands because that shit pops off and, miracles happen, quote unquote miracles. But there's a beauty in the wait. And I feel like I've known her for a while. We've hung out a few times. It was due that I get to see this titty. And that's pretty much as selfish as it is about it. And I'm just very thankful for that. I feel like after years, my time came. It happened too briefly. I hope to see more of it. But I'm thankful that I was able to be a witness to. And that's pure dedication right there. And why she will live in the wall, which I'm not too sure if I'm going to call SoulPapo's whores or SoulPapo's girls or something of that nature. Stay tuned and we'll figure it out. But definitely my dedications in both that in which I love, I care for, and that just keeps me captivated. And I feel that's what any good woman will do. And that's all. She'll keep you on the leash because she's captivating. And my ass is that stone that I totally forgot to tell you her fucking name. Her name is Kate McCucci. That's right, Makuchi. This bitch has a show that she'll do once a month called Playing with Makuchi, because she plays a bunch of instruments, and that's Kate, I don't know if it's Katie, Makuchi, M-I from a lady, C-U-C-C-I, Kate Makuchi. And I just thought it was so fucking genius that she would name her show where she plays all these instruments, because she's a multi-instrumentalist, or however you call it. Call it Playing with Makuchi. Like, God bless her, and that is a woman after my own heart. And I get so mad about the instruments that I have around me that I don't use, and motherfucker, use them. We're all put, in a certain spot, and it's meant to hopefully move the gears forward somewhere positive. And even if you're accidentally or not by choice or shit, maybe even motherfuckers, willingly, we're put in certain places to be who we are and to do what we do. Very, very, very vague, but that's where it's kind of up to you. And, being able to bring things along together. So that concludes my dedications. Shout out to you, mama, and God bless you. If you wanted to reach out in any sort of way, whether it's to talk some shit or to shed some light on some things, or maybe kind of just do that good old-fashioned communication thing where you talk to someone, that'd be really cool. You can find me on most social media outlets at SoulPapo. That's S as in Sierra, O-U-L, P as in Papa, A, P as in Papa, O. Definitely soulpapo.tumblr.com. I know if you wanted to even be a producer, you can go to patreon.com/soulpapo. For sure, I'm hoping that there'll be more shows to come with the IBHM podcast. Again, that's the I'm Black, He's Mexican podcast, which is more than likely why you're probably even listening to me in the first place. So God bless you. And I hope you can say what's up, for real, for real. I really do want to thank you so much for listening, and hopefully you can be a part of the show next time, one way or another. Either which way, I'm going to find you, and I'll get you. Like a Blonde song. God bless Juditas. I really do appreciate you listening and hopefully responding back and letting me know what's up and what you think and what you think we should talk about. If you want to be part of the conversation, just want to say thank you. And just know that to find yourself, think for yourself, and nothing's hopeless while there is life, and all that we see is just simply on the surface, and there's a certain understanding so large that it leaves no room for sanity. So as far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light of meaning in the darkness of mere being. So thanks again for listening. Peace be with you, and I'll talk at you next time.